Thank you. Thank you, Captain, for sharing that story. It was very important. Let's call the thing the thing. It's what it is. Let's call it what it is. You cannot possibly, and this is my thing, you cannot possibly be at peace, right? When you are constantly violating human rights of others. It's not okay. Violence in all its forms, it knows no bounds, it respects no geographical restrictions, it does not respond to any culture, it doesn't comply with issues of race, it doesn't discriminate, it's just what it is, it's violence, it cannot be allowed to thrive, and we need to call it out for what it is. Unless we do that and we kill it at its roots, we cannot claim to be progressive towards equality, towards empowerment, towards dignity, and just peace. You know. Thank you very much for sharing your story. And without wasting any time, I will allow Ms. Zinkita Tembani to share her story.
A very good afternoon to everybody. Normally I'm a bit shy-ish, so speaking in front of people is not always my thing, but after a few minutes then I get into the groove of things. My name is Zinkita Tembani. I am still currently a seafarer. I'm a third engineer. So this seminar is quite personal to us as female seafarers because it's issues we deal with every day. It's issues we constantly, from the day you sign on the vessel, it's issues you're gonna deal with up until you go home. And the sad part is when you're there, you're there. And every day has to continue till your contract is over. It's not like you're gonna go there and you suffer for the day and then you go home later. And the biggest thing is you out there, you're alone. You don't have your mother, your father there with you. You don't have your family there. So it's quite difficult. My personal experiences, it's always hard for me because I will always be the only female engineer amongst men. So firstly, it goes with gender discrimination. So because I'm a female, I'm in the engine room, the chief engineer or the second engineer will find that I won't hold the spanner because I'm a female. Or if we have to do some work, then they will say, no, you can't do that, you're a female, or you should be at home, you should be cooking in there. There was one vessel I was on, and I think the cook on board had health issues, so he had to sign off. And he signed off immediately, and I think we didn't have a cook for like a few days. And because I was the female on board, I was required to cook. So he said, I won't be in the engine room because they need to eat and there's a female on board. Wow. So I had to cook instead of, and I was a cadet then, so instead of being in the engine room and learning, I had to cook meals for the crew. I had to make lunch, I had to make dinner for them, and unfortunately, my record book needed to be signed. So you're given an ultimatum, basically, that you will do this, or if you do cook for us for this few days, I'll teach you 1, 2, and 3, and I'll sign your book. And you are there alone. You have no choice, and because you found yourself there, you are in there. You have to continue, because now you don't want to leave as a failure, and because you've already started this career, you know, you want to thrive through. You want to finish it with overalls. Mrs. Rulama mentioned about overalls. Even to this date, when I take out PPE, we call it PPE, overalls, my overall is always 2 times bigger than my size, because I don't want anything that's going to be too tight. I don't want to give the men on board an impression or a different impression. So I never wore overalls that fit me. I always wear overalls that are big. I always wear normal clothes that I bring on board. T-shirts. I buy T-shirts at Woolworths on the men's section. That's the only T-shirts I have on board. Baggy tracksuits, because I don't want somebody to give me a comment because I'm wearing a tight jean. I never wear jeans. Dresses are out. I could never wear a dress on board. I can never wear a dress on board, because you come back, you wear a jean or you go ashore wearing a jean, and then when you come back, it's like everybody's just staring at you. They're making comments, and some comments, they're shared like a joke, but then to you it's not a joke. It's really not. You can't be making a comment about my hips if I'm wearing a jean. You know, you wear big overalls, you're hiding all that good stuff. You know, to me it's not a joke. To you it might be a joke, but to me it's not. It's actually offensive, you know. And so we're not accommodated as females at sea. They mentioned about she-beans. Mentioned about she-beans. When I also started at sea, there were no she-beans. So all your sanitary towels, you had to figure out what you're going to do with them. And shared showers, you had to share a shower. There's like one shower and bathroom, maybe on the crew deck, and you have to walk from your cabin to go take a shower in there. You know, you're going to find men walking around in their underwears in the alleyway because they feel they can, you know. And when they walk around in their underwears, they're going to be making comments. If they're going to take a shower, do you want to come join me for a shower? You understand? Things like that. It's, I don't know, maybe it's the language, or maybe we're just not enough women at sea. So they always feel we're always the minority, and they don't accommodate or consider that, okay, now there's a female, you know, you can't be doing such, you know. So it's really, there's a lot that still needs to be done to accommodate females at sea. And with gender-based, it's not only female, you know. There's LGBT groups out there. If there's a gay guy on board and he has to share a cabin with another guy, it's going to be an issue, you know. He's forever going to be tormented. And we don't have any policies or laws that deal with that or that accommodate such issues. We don't have them. And if you are you're getting like an abusive treatment, or you're getting harassed by a senior officer, it's very hard for you to report or for you to take any further steps, because you're there, like literally an ant there. And at sea, you basically the captain or the chief engineer, that's like your God. That's as far as it goes. Even if anything is to happen and you report, it ends there. It's not going to go anywhere, because the only people you report to are there. The only people you can report to, they are there. So it's really difficult. And I think there's a lot of big shoes that we need to fill in the maritime industry as a whole. There's really a lot. Harassment, there's lots of harassment issues. There's a lot of harassment issues. And because you're a female, you're at sea, you can't automatically, you know, when you join a ship and they say, no, there's an engineer that's coming, and then I get there and then I'm a female. Then I'm like, yo, can you even hold a spanner? Like, I went to school and I trained, so obviously I know how to hold a spanner. But because I'm a female, I'm always gonna get such comments, and like I have to work 10 times harder than the other guy who's in the same position because I'm a female. And whenever you are there, it's like you have to do, or you have to work, or they see you working, for them to believe that you can actually do the job, or for them to believe that you actually belong there. And it's quite toxic, because I'm there in the engine room, I'm the only female there. They'll make nasty comments. Sometimes not even personally to me, but nasty comments about females. And I'm there. It's not directed at me, but then it's very uncomfortable for me, because it's you discussing another girl, maybe that's on board, or you're making another nasty comment about females, and I'm there. It's extremely uncomfortable, and most times you just turn the blind eye. You don't comment, because I mean, what more can you do? You don't comment, and the touching. The touching. I like my space. I'm friendly, like I can be friendly, but some people, I don't know how they analyze it. Some people think when you're nice to them, when you have a conversation with them, automatically maybe you like them, or there's something more than that. I can have a conversation and laugh with you, but it doesn't mean I want you. It doesn't mean I like you, but you're another human being. We're in here for the next couple of months. So I'll have a conversation with you. Now they have this tendency of, maybe when they greet, they'll greet like, hi, like, why are you touching me? You know? Like, oh, you're so cute. Like, no. That's like breaching my private space. And to them, they think it's normal, or it's cute. It's not cute. Because if I were to touch you now, you'd be uncomfortable. There was, yes, they deserve a punch. Also with cabins, you find there's people who, on board, they don't knock and then wait for you to open the door. They knock and open, or they just open. Like, you can't just do that. Like, if I'm in there and I'm not dressed, you just open the door. But I guess it goes back to what Sister Lama said. We maybe need to have some sort of, maybe not a course, but maybe some sort of workshops on how to deal with other people, how to accommodate other people, how we as people can, you know, be together on a ship. Not this thing that they do, that they think it's only just men, and if you are there as a female, you're an inconvenience, and they're not going to accommodate you because you're an inconvenience to them. So they don't feel that they should accommodate you. Okay, I think I'm talking too much. So there's a lot I could say. There's a lot we could all say here about the things that happen at sea. But then it's things that we endure out there on a daily basis. It's things that we endure. And I think if we continue having such seminars or such platforms to have conversations about things that happen out there, and things that we face, whether you're a woman, whether you're gay or lesbian, there's lots of challenges. a gay guy is going to have issues. A lesbian woman is going to have issues at sea. You know, there was a case, we were in West Africa. So this other guy, or the guys went out, we were alongside. They went out, they were drinking, they came back. So this other guy, I think he was an OS, he woke up naked in his cabin. He was gang raped. Basically, he was gang raped. This guy was so traumatized on board, couldn't even report the case, what had happened, because now he feels he's going to lose his job. And on board, you need to have like an appraisal. It's like when you're there, your senior officer, like if you were there in the navigation department, the master would like write an appraisal, how you performed while you're on board. That is used now by the company or the crane company for your re-employment, you know. So this guy is now scared of reporting what happened because he's just an OS, he's starting. When you're an OS, it's like you're starting up. So he's now scared of, if he reports, he's not going to get a chance to come back. And also, if he reports and it's known, then people are going to get the perception that maybe he's gay, you know, because he was gang raped. He locked himself in his cabin for 3 full days. He wasn't even eating, and then he requested to go home. I honestly, he was from Myanmar. Yeah, he was from Myanmar. I don't know what happened to him after that, but I don't think, the way that he was, I don't think he continued, let's see. I don't think it was possible for him to. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to talk so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mbani. We've only got about what? 5 minutes. I'm told that we've been given an extra 15 minutes. So I don't know how you're going to be able to talk within about what you have to say, and I know you said what in. Is this off?
It was okay.
There we go. So in my seafaring experience, there's been the other side that we don't necessarily talk about, and this is our marine pilots. And believe me, I was on a vessel with a master who did not have very much regard to our black South African pilots, particularly females. And he would be so abusive. He was generally abusive to me. I didn't care much for him, but during piloting operations, as we are getting ready to receive pilots, and he would shout on a VHF, "Settlement! There goes another one of your incompetent friends. Oh, it's a woman. I'm sure she's your best friend. Oh, look, there's more of them on the dock." I said to him one day, "Well, Captain, they're handling your ship. Maybe you should do something about it. You know, if you don't want them touching your ship, you can always just send them back, and we can go back and drop anchor until a competent pilot comes through in your view. So can we just So Ms. Iglesias will share on her experiences as a pilot. And I can't wait to hear what she has to say. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lindy Iglesias. I'm coming from Poshevstin in the village called St. Fates. On my starboard is my Makaya. Coming from the same town. When I came here, actually when I received the the program last night. I just didn't know what to talk about. I was like, no, I've never experienced such, and until this morning when I listened to other speakers and they defined what GBV is, and it came to my mind. I was like, wow, I'm experiencing such, not knowing actually. So for me, the term was not well defined before, of which still is not 100% defined to understand what goes beyond the definition or the terminology. So as a marine pilot, you meet all kinds of strangers on ships. Let's say I do like 3 or 4 ships a day, so obviously you meet all these strangers. You need to behave in a certain way since they are customers. I needed to actually recognize my employer Transnet before I go ahead. And I need to mention that they are the one who are contributing to the 1.28% with employing women, and we are part of that. Yes. Yes, and also I want to recognize, before I forget, SAMSA as well for having such platform. I hope this is not just a tick of the box, it will be a continuation of this platform, because we really need this as young ones. So for me, it's difficult to pilot on a ship full of men as young as I am, and even worse when you don't have a ring on your left. They tend to take an advantage more than the ones who's got the rings on their fingers. So I had an experience, I encountered an experience with one of the fishermen. I'll have to pick that one because it's always ringing on my mind. There was sort of some intimidation. It was a ship with no engines. So if the ship has no engine, it's up to me what I do with this ship in terms of maneuvering and until it's safely alongside. So first thing, this captain, something went wrong. Actually, they cut the line before I told them to cut the line. And then when things went wrong, they said, "Pilot, what did you say? What did you do to my crew? Why is the ship now behaving this way?" And some words, of which one of them is incompetence, as you mentioned, Kumojo. So yeah, it's one of those where you are questioned your incompetence or your competence as a marine pilot, especially the black young one. Yeah, for me it was so difficult to now rectify this situation. When someone is like screaming on my ears, I need to think, like I need to use my brain 100% to recover from this situation. But yes, I remembered one of my seniors telling me that I will face these events, so I need to be prepared for them. So when the captain was busy screaming here, I need to think what to do, because the ship is going to the concrete. So yeah, I had to focus on the job itself. Then I was done, the ship was recovered, and then we were safely alongside. Then when we were done with the ship, I turned to the captain. "Captain, can I have a word with you?" I did not like this. Obviously, I had to speak to him, and then at the end of the day, there was an apology, of which I was okay with that, although still the trauma was still there, because I had to question myself for every time. And also recently, I also experienced not like recently, I do get it more often, even when I was still at sea, getting some comments about my body. I remember this other chief mate who would say, "You're so westernized, your body's so beautiful, you don't look like you're black," and so on and so on. At the time, obviously, there was no cover. Big tummy. So yeah, I do like guess this comment. This other time I asked for a lady's And then they didn't know I was back on the bridge because I came back and then I took a sit and then they were talking about me. Did you see how sexy she is? Oh my gosh. Did you? Like, and then at the end of the day, I need to navigate the ship safely. So at the back of my mind, I'm like, and then the captain would walk around and say, oh, she's here. Then now they don't know what to say because they've been discussing me, not knowing that I'm back from the ladies. So yeah, it's one of those things that we do experience. And I remember when I was also training, it was easy as a trainee because already, I mean, you have someone who's protecting you all the time. So you walk on that bridge, coming up so bold and so on. And when you command the ship, you know, there's my protector here on the side. So it's so easy. It was so easy, not knowing that when they told me that, Lee, the way you speak, you are too soft for this job. And you need to change how you speak. Yeah, obviously, I'm slow, I'm slow when I speak, and my voice is a bit soft. So they'll be like, so whenever I'm going home, I'll be like, stop it. Because I need to train my voice now to be fitting in this industry. Yes. So it's not so easy to adjust. From me, I don't think the working environment is ready for females as much as it's opened the door for us to come in, but it's not ready for us. I remember now, just going back to this story where they said my voice needed to be assertive and so on. I went to train just to up my license with one of my senior, and he was chilled, and then I was doing the job all the time and everything. Then at the end of the job, the captain was like, wow, I like how you command, how you give the command. Your voice is not like you are forcing it, you are calm, you don't lose the touch of being a woman, and your commands are so clear, we understand, you can see that you are confident, you are not pushing it like, now I want to be a man, or I want to be portrayed as a man. So for me, it gave me a confidence, like now back to basic, to be who I am. I am a woman at the end of the day. I don't need to change it just to fit in the industry. So I was so happy that my colleague was also there to listen to that. It's like, okay. And luckily, he also shared with other colleagues that, wow, Lee did this job, and the captain even said this and this and this. And luckily, the colleague who shared this information with was the very first one to say your voice, it's like this. So for me to, it was really cool. So thank you.
Thank you very much.